How's it going, folks? Nick here with the Permaculture vlog. It's gonna be a quick little video. I just want to show you a little bit of update about my little micro pond system I have in my backyard. Just today I was cleaning it up a little bit and noticed a whole bunch of really cool things. I'm gonna see if I can show you, and if I can't, I'm just gonna explain it to you. So here's a nice little overview shot. This pond I installed myself by hand. It's a very, very small pond. It's maybe a foot or two deep at most. In the center, that's like 30 to 60 centimeters deep, right in the center, which would be like right around there. Pretty shallow in the margins there, and it's a very, very basic wildlife pond. This is not something I'm aiming for any sort of production in. I'm not trying to like produce anything. I'm just trying to create extra habitat for the various pond and water loving animals and creatures that may or may not be around in this environment. This pond is made with just a liner, so you can actually see that right in here. I just used a rubber liner just because right here I have a whole bunch of rock. There's a big rock right here. There's a big old rock over here. So instead of trying to actually create a seal, which I need a whole bunch of clay for, instead I just decided to use a pond liner. I had a few scraps of pond liner material that I could take from my friends up at Hacienda Rosa. So this is a free material for me. Again, that's what I like. I like to use stuff that's reused, free, and minimal waste as much as I possibly can. So I did not buy this. I got to just take it for free, which is really nice because pond liner is expensive, let me tell you. But this little area, it's really developed quite amazingly. I'm actually really impressed with it. You can see here, I actually have all this kind of water plant right in here. It's actually flowering right now. It flowers all the time at this point. It just kind of keeps flowering. But I started this pond with one or two of these little plants in here, and now they're pretty much covering the entire surface of the pond. And they are flowering on a regular basis. Just this morning, and actually I think I see one right now, so I'll see if I can get one. See if I can get you zoomed in and focused on it. Right there. There's a little frog right there. Small frog, just starting in here. So I got little small frogs, young frogs in here. I see dragonflies coming to this pond pretty much every day. I think they lay their little eggs in there. And that's where their young actually grows up, and then they can kind of start. So I see dragonflies all throughout my backyard now because I have this little pond. And just today, for the first time ever, I saw some tadpoles in there. I think I have some footage I'm going to play for you. Hopefully you'll be able to see it cleanly. It's a little bit hard because there's always a reflection on the pond when I'm trying to get these shots for you. So, but for the first time, I see 2 or 3 tadpoles in there, which is really cool. I haven't seen tadpoles yet. So that's a cool little development. There's also 2 little baby frogs in there today, just sitting on top of these water plants. So I'm really, really happy with how this has turned out. This is such a minimal pond feature that took almost no time to create. I think it took me maybe half hour, 45 minutes one day. I just dug it out. My initial attempt at this was actually much smaller than it is now. Initially, it was only probably to about here, and the water level only came to about this far. And I just realized I just need a little bit more space. So I actually expanded it. So if you guys are thinking about doing a micro pond, go as big as you can. Obviously, it's still being micro, so being small still, but try to go as big as you can to make sure you have plenty of space. So just to explain a little bit about how the water flows in this pond, I've set this up to basically catch all the excess flows that are coming from further up on the property. So the way I manage my water here is this upper terrace, you can see here with the gravel, where this piece of 2x4 is right there. That's actually a little bit of a overflow for me. So the upper terrace is actually about 2, 3, 4 inches dug out, and it's just all full of gravel. So water collects on the terrace. It directs slightly this way, and then when it overflows, it comes this way. It comes down here. It follows this path. So this path is actually also a water flow throughout the site. And this was a natural water flow when I got to the site. So I just chose to use the path as my natural water flow, and I just reinforced it by adding gravel. And so all of that comes down here. And then right as it gets to the pond edge, you can see it just goes right on in. So because it's traveling through this gravel first, a lot of that silt and extra buildup of extra material in there actually ends up catching into that rock. And then it all just flows right on into this pond here. And this pond level is set by this right over here. So this right here is actually my spillway. You can see if I kind of come in a little closer here, you can see it right here. This is the pond liner right there. And so right about this level, it's like a little bit deeper, an inch or 2 deep right here. That's where I have the level of the pond set. So when I have a lot of rain and this thing is completely full, it actually will overflow right through here, and actually will overflow just through the gravel first. So when there's just enough water through here, and just enough or just too much water, I'm not going to see like a major flow over this area. It's actually just going to flow through this gravel. And then when we have way too much water, what ends up happening is actually will flow right over here. So you actually see water pretty much up to this level right here. It'll all just be flowing right over, and then it flows down this way and then down the property. And that's just the natural water flow on my property. So this little micro pond is positioned right in the little spot where all the water converges onto as it comes down the property. It comes, lands in this pond, stays in this pond for however long. It'll evaporate off, or it'll overflow if there's too much water. And then from there, we just have the water comes into here, and then it'll flow out and continue down the rest of the property. So this is basically a free kind of pond source. I don't ever need to fill this. If it's really hot or it hasn't been raining for a few days, what I'll do sometimes is I'll just make sure that I add a little bit of water just to keep the fish happy, keep the water level okay. And then again, like I was saying earlier, if it is really hot out and I'm a little bit worried about the oxygen level in there, what I'll do is actually take the hose and I'll spray it in there on the shower setting. So there's a whole bunch of little drops. And as I spray that, it just kind of drops in there. And as the water hits the surface, it pushes air in there. So it just helps oxygenate the water little by little as I'm spraying water in there. But these plants will produce oxygen in their processes. So they're actually oxygenating the water for me. So that's one of the main reasons I have the plants there. And the reason I know this system is doing just fine, even without too much management on my part, is because I have a constant supply of new growth there. I have a constant supply of new critters entering the ecosystem. And the fish population, I started with 4 fish now, or 4 fish at the very beginning I started with. And at this point, I can't even count them. There's probably something like 40, 50 of those small little fish in there. These fish are the types of fish that will eat mosquito larvae. So I am in the tropics here, so I do have to think about mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are always going to be present in a humid tropical climate. It's inevitable. I'm not going to be able to get rid of mosquitoes, but this pond will not be producing mosquitoes, because any mosquitoes that do lay their little eggs in there and a little larva in there, the fish will eat those. So I don't have to think about, I basically have a mosquito predator built right into the pond itself. And then there's also, of course, the dragonflies. Dragonflies are really good at eating mosquitoes, and I see those all the time coming to this pond to basically lay their eggs and get going. So that's it, just a quick little video showing you this little micro pond here. If you guys do have any questions about it, please feel free to leave them below. I'm happy to answer those. This is a very, very basic pond. If you wanted to just experiment with a pond, I highly recommend it. My mentor and my teacher of permaculture, Jeff Lawton, what he likes to call small little ponds like this, and really ponds of any size in a landscape, the jewels of the landscape. And that's really true. This is something that I come out every day and I just love looking at. I'll just kind of squat down and watch the fish in there, watch all the new critters that come in every day. And it's really something nice to have, nice feature, adds a nice little something different into your landscape. So definitely worth trying. Very minimal maintenance. Once you kind of get it established, at first you're gonna have to watch it a little bit more, make sure everything's okay. But now that it's established, I don't really do any work to this, and it maintains itself. So definitely something to try. Hope that helps you think about doing it, or checking it out, or asking me questions to try to implement one of these systems yourself. And hope that was helpful. And until next time, have a good one.